He won't come
maybe they could.
You okay? Are you crying?
My dad's here.
Okay.
He's here, and he's sober.
Grey's
And I would
Anatomy
really
fans
like for
are
you to
buzzing
meet him.
after new season 22 photo clues dropped,
Oh.
and they might reveal more than meets the eye. Entertainment Weekly released 3 stills from the explosive premiere: Amelia Shepherd looking devastated as Winston Dugu holds her back, Simone Griffith trapped in an elevator moment with Trevor Jackson's new character, and Meredith Grey by a patient's bedside. Showrunner Meg Marinis confirmed the season picks up immediately after the season 21 explosion, promising a return right to the chaos. But the big question remains: who survived? Link is still the biggest concern after being last seen mid-surgery when the blast hit. Fans also fear another original character could be on the chopping block: Richard Webber, James Pickens Jr. On Reddit, some argue his retirement talk with Meredith felt like a final goodbye, and killing Richard would be a shocking, emotional way to mark the show's 20th anniversary. Meanwhile, actress Camilla Luddington opened up about her personal life, admitting there's no balance between work and motherhood. With 2 young kids, she says some days she's a better actor, other days a better mom, and letting go of perfection has been freeing. Elsewhere in Grey's news, Ellen Pompeo reminded fans she'll always pop in and out as Meredith Grey, keeping her connection to the show alive even as she pursues new projects. And outside of Grey Sloan, Patrick Dempsey's 2023 horror film Thanksgiving is trending on Netflix UK, showing fans can't get enough of Grey's alumni. With new theories, behind-the-scenes teases, and emotional interviews, Grey's Anatomy Season 22 is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic yet. Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. Grey's Anatomy fans react to new Season 22 photo clues. We still don't know who did or did not survive the explosion that rocked Grey Sloan Memorial in the final moments of Grey's Anatomy's Season 21 finale, but thanks to a new set of stills, there are some added clues about what might be ahead when the show returns next month. Entertainment Weekly hosts 3 first-look images from the premiere, including a shot of Amelia Shepherd, Katerina Scorsone, looking distraught as Winston Dugu, Anthony Hill, holds her back, Simone Griffith, Alexis Floyd, and Trevor Jackson's new character in a dreaded elevator moment, and Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, at a patient's bedside. In the EW interview, showrunner Meg Marinis teased, "We clearly saw Link in immediate danger. We'll just have to see whether Link makes it through this explosion." She also confirmed that the premiere will pick up immediately after the explosion and return right to the chaos. After the publication of the images, Grey's Anatomy fans tried to deduce what they could from the pics and made some interesting pitches and observations beyond the obvious fear that Atticus Link Lincoln, Chris Carmack, will be killed off in the blast. One fan, for example, thinks Season 22's premiere might do the unthinkable and take out another series original, Richard Webber, James Pickens Jr. Richard is one I am having big doubts on at the moment. The whole conversation he had with Meredith about retiring sounded like the final conversation they had together. Also, it's the 20th anniversary coming up. Maybe it's my own self-delusion. They have to go big in something impactful, and Richard is at risk of being killed off to leave an emotional impact. Also, the vibe from production is weird. Everyone is too quiet. There have been no leaks other than a few indications on social media, and that also makes me feel it might be something really big in terms of consequences, rather than someone that has spent little time in the show with the cast. Killing off Richard would be huge, and it's certainly a way to start off the season, they wrote on a Reddit fan thread. Grey's Anatomy actor Camilla Luddington says there are days she's better at work than at being a mom. Camilla Luddington, 41, says there is no balance when it comes to juggling work and kids. Instead, the Grey's Anatomy actor focuses on doing her best in each role depending on the day. "Letting go of that need to be perfectly balanced all the time has been very freeing for me," she said. Grey's Anatomy actor Camilla Luddington is getting real about what it takes to be on a hit show while raising 2 kids. In an interview with Parents published on Friday, Luddington spoke about the difficulties of juggling her filming schedule and her responsibilities as a mom. "I just accept that there is no balance," Luddington told Parents, adding she focuses on doing her best in each role depending on the day. "To take the pressure off, I'll be like, you know what? Today I'm probably going to be better at my job than I am at parenting because I'm on set all day. But tomorrow I'm off and I can be a better parent," she said. "Letting go of that need to be perfectly balanced all the time has been very freeing for me." Ludington has played Dr. Jo Wilson on the hit medical drama since 2012. She has 2 kids with her husband, 13 Reasons Why actor Matthew Allen. When it comes to her 2 kids, ages 8 and 5, Ludington says that having space is sometimes the secret to harmony. They want to play together and they want to be up against us, but they don't realize that they need time by themselves, Ludington said. At times, she and her husband will split the kids up, sending one out to play and the other to the room, she said. They need that separation because they will be up in each other's business the entire day and drive each other and us crazy. Then they can appreciate the time they spend with us and each other, Ludington added. A representative for Ludington did not immediately respond to a request for comment sent by Business Insider outside regular hours. In a 2023 interview with New Beauty, Ludington said she's lucky to be on a show with a big cast that doesn't require her on set daily. But there are days that go by where I've worked a couple of 12-hour days and I haven't seen my kids in 3 days. And that's hard. So the days that I have time off, I try to give them as much of my attention as I possibly can, she said. Ludington joins a list of female actors who've opened up about juggling work and parenting in Hollywood. Speaking to The Times in November, Keira Knightley said having kids meant putting her career on the back burner. I couldn't go job to job abroad now. It wouldn't be in any way fair on them, and I wouldn't want to, Knightley said. I've chosen to have children, I want to bring them up, so I've had to take a major step back. In May, Michelle Williams told Dax Shepard on the Armchair Expert podcast that balancing work and motherhood is like figuring out which master you're going to serve. Because the truth is, if work is going well, somebody else is taking care of the kids. And if you're in a high point with your kids, the work is shoved to the side, Williams said. Grey's Anatomy interview has us worried Link is going to die in the season 22 premiere. Grey's Anatomy fans, brace yourselves. Your emotional stability might be about to be tested. If you recall from the season 21 finale, a massive explosion happens at Grey Sloan Memorial, leaving the fates of several beloved characters hanging by a thread. Now, with season 22 just around the corner, a new interview has everyone on edge about whether Link, Chris Carmack, head of orthopedic surgery, will survive the catastrophic event. The explosion erupts on Grey Sloan's floor, throwing doctors and staff into immediate chaos. Monica, Jules, and Bailey are shown on the floor having a conversation, while Link is inside an operating room, in the middle of a surgery. We never find out if these 4 characters make it out of the blast alive at the end of the 21st season, and this is what's been on fans' minds ever since. Now, Camilla Ludington, who plays Jo, Link's wife, has added fuel to the fire in a recent interview. While speaking to Us Weekly about filming the 22nd season, Ludington seemed to hint that her character will return. This shouldn't come as a surprise, given that the last time we saw Jo in Grey's Anatomy season 21, she was outside the hospital when the explosion happened. However, Ludington avoided giving any clear answers about Link's fate, but the comments she did make have only made us more worried that Link might not make it out alive. When discussing how she first learned about the explosion, she expressed how she hadn't anticipated that things would go so dramatically wrong for her character and Link. She admitted that she initially believed Jo and Link's happiness might actually last, only to soon find out, as a veteran of the show, that Grey's Anatomy was about to deliver another shocking twist. I should have known. It didn't occur to me, and I'm a vet of 13 years of that show, and I was like, damn, things are going so well, like, so naive. And I'm like, oh, of course. No, there's gonna be an explosion, and my husband will be in it. I should have known. She also mentioned that the Grey's Anatomy season 22 premiere wasn't her favorite to film since it was really traumatic for the cast and crew. While we don't know who exactly won't survive the explosion, Link seems to be in the most danger. Jo had just revealed to Link that they were expecting twins in the season 21 finale. If you know anything about Grey's Anatomy, this show loves to deliver good news only to immediately throw in a life-threatening disaster to shock fans. There's a possibility that we'll see Link initially survive the explosion. Maybe we'll see him in a coma in the hospital in the season 22 premiere. But then his condition could suddenly take a turn for the worse, and Jo is left a widow and a single mother. It wouldn't be the first time the medical drama series has done something like this, where a character initially survives a life-threatening event only to face tragic consequences later. Obviously, we want to see Link make it out alive and him and Jo live happily together, but it's always best to prepare for the worst. Why Ellen Pompeo's Dr. Meredith Grey left Grey's Anatomy. In 2022, before season 19 of Shonda Rhimes' long-running medical series Grey's Anatomy kicked off, Deadline broke the news that the show was losing its titular Grey. According to the outlet, Ellen Pompeo, who's been playing Dr. Meredith Grey on the small screen since 2005, had stepped back from her lead role and was, at the time, only set to appear in 8 episodes of season 19 to ensure that she could work on other projects, including the then untitled Hulu series which became 2025's Good American Family. Back then, fans of Grey's Anatomy were given 2 important pieces of information regarding Pompeo's continued involvement. She'd keep narrating the series, and she would stay on as an executive producer. Technically, Meredith Grey moves from Seattle to Boston in season 19, but Pompeo is definitely still, by any conceivable metric, on Grey's Anatomy. She ended up appearing in 10 episodes of season 19, including Meredith's final episode, I'll Follow the Sun, 5 episodes of season 20, which was abbreviated due to the 2023 Hollywood strikes, and 7 episodes in season 21. So, why did Pompeo exit after all that time, and why did she keep making appearances at all? We'll come back to that second question, but first, during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter for Good American Family, Pompeo, who, I should say, rarely minces words whenever she speaks publicity, was blunt about why she stuck around on the medical drama for such a long time. On Grey's, you really only get an opportunity to be nominated for things in your first few seasons, and so that time had clearly passed, she explained. I didn't crave that kind of recognition. I craved the sort of financial and job security situation more than I did critical accolades. That's why I stayed on the show. Pompeo then spoke about her future as an actor, seemingly hoping that she could earn some accolades in different projects. Had I been chasing critical acclaim, I wouldn't have stayed on Grey's for so long, she continued. So, it wasn't always the most important thing to me, but now that I'm doing something new, it would definitely, probably help me in this next chapter of my story, moving on from Grey's, doing other roles. To be absolutely fair here, Pompeo has been turning in solid to excellent performances as Meredith Grey for 2 decades, and was routinely snubbed for Emmys when her also great co-stars Sandra Oh and Chandra Wilson got multiple nods, and Katherine Heigl, who departed in season 6, even won one for her work in season 2. Beyond that, though, here's how the show writes Meredith off and why Pompeo will never fully cut the connective tissue between her and Grey's Anatomy. Why does Meredith leave Grey's Anatomy? And how does the show allow her to keep sticking around anyway? Even if you haven't watched even a minute of Grey's Anatomy, it's not hard to ascertain that Ellen Pompeo's Meredith Grey plays the biggest role in the series. We first meet her on her inaugural day as a surgical intern, where she's reunited with a one-night stand she met at a bar, only to learn that he's her boss, Dr. Derek Shepherd, Patrick Dempsey, the hospital's new chief of neurosurgery. Despite some frankly enormous and highly dramatic hurdles, the two ultimately get married and adopt a daughter, Zola, and have 2 children after that, Bailey and Ellis. However, in the show's 11th season, Derek is grievously injured in a car accident and ends up dying of a brain bleed. Pompeo, apparently, didn't hate the fact that the series wrote off her in-universe husband. Meredith, the consummate survivor, carries on as best as she can. In some ways, she deals with her newfound grief by diving headfirst into her work, and thanks to that and a groundbreaking abdominal wall transplant, she wins the prestigious Harper Avery Award for Surgical Innovation, following in the footsteps of her famous surgeon mother, Dr. Ellis Grey, Kate Burton. After a brief relationship with cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Nathan Riggs, Martin Henderson, Meredith dates in turn Dr. Andrew DeLuca, Giacomo Gianniotti, whose character is killed in season 17, and as of Grey's Anatomy season 21, comfortably settles down with fellow general surgeon Dr. Nick Marsh, Scott Speedman. The whole reason for Meredith's exit, though, is that she realizes that Zola, played as a young woman by Anila Gums, is suffering from severe anxiety, and after Meredith brings Zola to visit Boston to look at private schools, Zola expresses interest in attending one geared towards STEM. This is the canonical in-universe reason for Meredith and her family, including Nick, to decamp to Boston and technically leave the show. So, how does the series justify keeping her around anyway? Truthfully, Ellen Pompeo will always be a part of Grey's Anatomy in some way. Okay, so why does Meredith Grey keep flying within the narrative of Grey's Anatomy between Seattle and Boston? Well, canonically, she's working on a research project intended to cure Alzheimer's, the degenerative cognitive disease that led to the death of her mother. In real life, however, Ellen Pompeo has been quite candid about why she didn't leave Grey's Anatomy completely. As she told Elle Pace, she made the show what it is today and still wants to reap the benefits. That would make no sense, emotionally or financially, Pompeo said of leaving the series entirely. The show was streamed more than 1 billion times in 2024. More than 1 billion times. She continued. The companies that own the show and stream the show make a lot of money from our images and our voices and our faces. If I were to walk away completely, everybody gets to make money from my hard work for 20 years and I wouldn't make any money. To me, it doesn't make any sense that everybody else gets to profit off of my hard work. And emotionally, the show means a lot to people. I want to have an attitude of gratitude toward the show. This is, to be honest, pretty fair from Pompeo's perspective, and as she said, stepping away partially and not fully has given her a better life overall. I've been doing it for 20 years, so it was time to step away, Pompeo revealed. I have 3 children and I love spending time with them and I love being involved in their lives. I'm very lucky to be able to get to work sometimes and take time off. I have a nice balance in my life. Grey's Anatomy star's thrilling horror with showstopper finale is now trending in the UK. Thanksgiving, the thrilling horror featuring Grey's Anatomy star Patrick Dempsey, is trending in the UK. The 2023 film, which is based on a fictitious trailer from 2007's Grindhouse, takes place in a small Massachusetts town which is being terrorized by a vicious serial killer during the Thanksgiving holiday. Featuring Addison Rae and Gina Gershon in supporting roles, the slasher horror was added to Netflix in the UK on Monday, September 1st, and it has proved to be a hit with viewers as it currently sits at number 4 on the streamer's film chart, via Flix Patrol. In addition to its popularity with viewers, Thanksgiving also struck a chord with critics upon its original release, with its approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes currently standing at an impressive 84% from 150 reviews. Like curating the perfect holiday feast, Roth orchestrates a vicious, thrilling, and raucously entertaining slasher with a showstopper finale, opined Bloody Disgusting, while the Daily Telegraph called it a bloody feast to savor. The ingredients are absolutely familiar, but what makes the whole recipe satisfying is the sheer amount of gruesome fun Roth manages to have with the concept, wrote Empire magazine. The wrap was also full of praise, writing, with eye-popping production design and an invitingly rowdy premise, you feel just thankful enough for the full, calorie-rich meal Roth's latest slasher provides. It offers plenty of cheap thrills, or more accurately cheap kills, presented with the sort of attention to bloodthirsty detail that horror aficionados crave, wrote The Hollywood Reporter, while The Guardian called it inventive and gratifying. Such was the success of the film, with box office takings of $46 million against a $15 million budget. A sequel was soon greenlit by producers, with Roth returning to conceive the story while also taking his seat in the director's chair again. Thanksgiving 2 was originally slated for a theatrical release in November, though that now looks unlikely given the fact that Nell Verloc confirmed to Deadline in May that filming on the film was yet to begin. Grey's Anatomy vet Sarah Drew reveals if April and Jackson will ever get that Boston set spin-off. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. It's been 7 years since Sarah Drew last walked the halls of Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital as a series regular on Grey's Anatomy. After exiting the ABC drama at the end of season 14 in 2018, Drew's Dr. April Kepner resurfaced in a season 17 installment, setting up the departure of Jesse Williams' Dr. Jackson Avery, who shared a tumultuous on-and-off romance with April. When Jackson told his ex that he was moving to Boston to lead the Catherine Fox Foundation, he asked April to relocate with him so he could maintain his relationship with their daughter. For many viewers, The Hour felt like the setup for a Boston-based spin-off about the couple. For ways Grey's Anatomy accurately depicts hospital teamwork. For long, Grey's Anatomy has been winning hearts with its depiction of life in a hospital, giving an insight into how medical teams actually work. Though highly dramatized, the series does bring out some elements of real-life hospital team dynamics. Be it collaboration or communication, these are important to ensure proper patient care and seamless functioning in hospitals. Here's what Grey's Anatomy gets right about them. Effective communication among teams. In Grey's Anatomy, communication is another theme that reflects real-life hospitals. How doctors, nurses, and support staff communicate with each other is crucial for patient safety and smooth workflow. The show beautifully demonstrates how clear instructions and open dialogue can save you from misunderstandings and mistakes in treatment plans. This further highlights the importance of communication in keeping the team together. Hierarchical structures and their impact. The series also frequently depicts the hierarchical nature of hospital teams, mirroring reality where seniority dictates decision-making processes. In hospitals, seasoned professionals mentor and supervise less experienced staff. This structure can help keep things in check, but can also create friction if not handled properly. Grey's Anatomy showcases both the perks and the potential downfalls of such hierarchies in medical teams. Importance of team collaboration. Collaboration is also a major component highlighted in Grey's Anatomy. The series showcases how different specialists join hands to effectively diagnose and treat patients. In real-life hospitals, collaboration between departments provides holistic treatment by combining expertise from different fields, including surgery, radiology, and nursing. This spirit of collaboration boosts problem-solving capacity at healthcare facilities. Handling stressful situations together. Hospital environments are bound to be stressful with high-stakes life-and-death situations. Grey's Anatomy encapsulates the intensity of medical crises. It also shows how team members support each other, offering emotional resilience or practical help when needed. This is an accurate depiction of many real-world medical institutions. Camaraderie is an integral part of the pressure-filled circumstances healthcare workers face every day. Ellen Pompeo talks about the future of Grey's Anatomy, and if she'll be in it. It's been 20 years since Grey's Anatomy first premiered, and Ellen Pompeo still thinks the show has staying power. The actor, who has a deep history with the show as its namesake character, Meredith Grey, discussed the future of the medical drama during a new appearance on The Jennifer Hudson Show. When asked if fans can expect more from Grey's Anatomy in the future, Pompeo had an encouraging response. "I think for sure, yeah. I don't think that show will ever end." "I don't know," she mused, then laughed during the April 2nd episode of the talk show. As for her own future on Grey's Anatomy, Pompeo is keeping the door open for additional appearances. "I'll always pop in and out. That's my home, and I don't think my co-star Debbie Allen will let me ever leave completely," she said. "That's good news," Hudson replied. Pompeo was there at the very beginning of Grey's Anatomy when the show first premiered in 2005. During the season 19 mid-season finale in November 2022, her character announced her decision to relocate her family to Boston. A few months prior, Variety reported that Pompeo was only going to appear in 8 episodes that season. In February 2023, Pompeo stopped appearing as a series regular. She later returned for the season 19 finale. When ABC released a season 20 teaser in December 2023, fans were thrilled to catch a glimpse of Pompeo. She had previously announced that she would be making the occasional appearance and still doing voiceovers for the show while serving as an executive producer. While chatting with Hudson, Pompeo said she never expected the show would last 20 seasons when she first signed on as Meredith Grey. "The fans keep it alive. It's their show, really. They've taken it over," she said. Hudson was curious to know what Pompeo's husband, Chris Ivory, thinks of her steamy love scenes from the show, and her answer was simple: he doesn't watch Grey's Anatomy. "That's how I've been married so long," she teased. However, Pompeo's daughter Stella has watched a few seasons. It gets to a point where they get to be, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11, and all the classmates start watching it. And then she says, "Mommy, can I watch it?" And I can't believe that sometimes 10 and 11-year-olds watch the show because I know what was going on in those early years and still goes on, I guess, she explained. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.